Hello and welcome back to my channel today. So I am deciding to, instead of stress and focus on all of the stuff going on in my life that is both exciting but stressful for me at least, I am instead filming a bookshelf tour. Procrastination, but in a weirdly productive way, I guess. I haven't posted in probably about 2 weeks at this point, or at least that's when I'm filming it, or filming this. So I'm not really sure when this is gonna come out, which the things going on aren't even stressful. It's just I get so worked up about stuff and I'm such an over planner that my brain is constantly going and it is very hard to get excited about things. So my planner brain is just on overdrive right now because in about, I think like 4 days, I'm going on a trip. I'm going on a trip up north to visit some family, and it's only for about a week, so it's not super long, but I have not been on a plane. Thinking about like 2-3 years at this point, you know, especially with all of the travel restrictions that there have been. I just have not even really thought about going anywhere. And so for me to now all of a sudden, I mean, it's not all of a sudden, about 2 or so months ago, I decided that I was gonna go on this trip with my mom to go see some family, and it's catching up with me now how soon it's happening and how I have to be ready very soon for it. Some other things that I guess would be considered like life updates things. I guess it's life update things. I haven't been making videos long enough to feel like I am validated in making any type of life update, but I'm going on a trip, and then right after that is when the fall semester of school starts. And then during that same period of time, we might be adopting another cat, which is really exciting, but also I'm very not nervous for, just because I've always had cats and I've literally helped foster bottle feed kittens before, so it's not like I am new to caring for cats or even kittens, but it's just like it's another little life and it's kind of a big deal and a big decision. But at the same time, my boyfriend and I are both thinking like we want our other cat that we got to at least have, you know, like a friend, someone to hang out with, someone to play with, just because she does, I think, get lonely when we're not here. And I think she was also an outside cat, so she was really used to constantly doing something, and now that she's not, she's kind of like bored, I'm assuming. So I'm hoping that maybe getting a very playful kitten will be good for her. There's a lot of stuff on the internet that says either it could be good or they might not acclimate well to each other. That I am nervous about, is if they do not get along, or she, I guess, doesn't really get along with him. I think those are the 3 biggest things right now though, other than just like general work life balance, which is always difficult to be in balance. Let's just get started with the video. Like I said, I do have my coffee with me, but I also have my water to the left of me, so let's get started. Okay. And just to start off the actual tour, I'm going to show you an overall view of what my newest bookshelf looks like. So I have now 3, but this is the newest one. It is the biggest one that I have out of all of them. And I am so happy that I have it finally. I've waited about like 6 months for it. But as you can see, we have all of our shoes there. We have some masks. I painted that butterfly, and then that's one of those metal poster things next to it. My boyfriend got me that for, I think, our first Christmas together. So I still really like it, and I kept it there. And then to the left of it, we have my old couch bed situation with just a pillow and a little Pusheen plushie, and this dog that my boyfriend actually also got in our first year of dating. I think it was like Thanksgiving. No, it was a Black Friday half off kind of deal. So he got that for me because I've always wanted one. So we have that there. Let's just start off with the bottom shelf here. So as you can see, just as a general overview, you might see a theme throughout it, but it is all children's books. I have a couple Olivia Pigs, a Princess pop-up book, Snowy, a Leopard of the High Mountains. I found that at a hardware store, which I really enjoyed seeing that there. Down here we have a little bear guy, and then a bird, little lady, and then we also have this super cute thing that my grandma got for me a couple years ago, but it's like a little from the library of, it has cards inside of it. So every time you lend out a book to anyone, you can just put your name on it, put it in the book, and then you'll know that they should definitely return it to you at some point. And then actually sneak peek behind here, I have all of the series of Unfortunate Events as well. I've never actually read them, but I have seen the movies, and I don't know, I've held on to them for so long. They were originally my brother's, and I think it was the same thing with the Chronicles of Narnia, but I just can't seem to get rid of them for whatever reason, so they stay on my shelf. But to conserve space, I do have it hidden behind this really cute little picture book. I guess I could show you some of my favorite ones that I have had since I was a kid. So these are a couple of my favorite books that I read as a kid. They're all very cute. I am a huge cat lover, so it's no surprise that Slob Cat made it into this. And then The Dumb Bunnies is just one of the silliest books that I have ever seen. And then of course we have Madeline, which is all of the tales in there. As you can see, I've had this for quite a long time. It's a little bit tattered up, but it's probably one of my favorite books that I own, honestly. So I'm gonna just start again kind of in a random order. So right here you can see there's a bunch of drawing books, and then it kind of goes into coloring books that I have, which are mostly animal themed, as well as a couple of magazines, and then animal books. And then right on the top we have hidden gems here. So in my bookshelves I do love to keep knickknacks, and I happen to have a lot of hidden gems. So this is a tortoise that I built with those super tiny blocks. And then this is actually a little toy that my boyfriend had. So this is what was sitting next to the tortoise here. And when you close it, it winds it up. And then if you just click it open, so I just think it's absolutely adorable, and that's why I keep it there. And of course it does in fact remind me of my boyfriend, so it is special. And then in the middle, to have some separation between the two kind of themes there, I do have a bunch of candles. As you can see, there was an accident here, but I promise you no one got hurt. And that's honestly one of my favorite candles I've also ever smelled. To the right, we again have a couple more candles. Those two my boyfriend got me. I really enjoy them. I really enjoy the marshmallow fireside though. And this is a seal that I thrifted. I don't know if it's thrifting, but I bought it at an antique shop down in Monterey when we were there, and it's one of those cool kind of glass mold things. And then here we just have a couple self-help books, I guess, for the most part. And then we have some music books here. So I have a lot of music books. I was a musician for like 8 years basically, so I just have all of those now, and I am hoping to pick up the clarinet again soon. That will be an exciting adventure once again. And of course I have to show the Peaches, who is deciding to make biscuits once again on this blanket. Ever since I laid it down, she has made biscuits every single day on it. It is literally the cutest thing ever. So on the left side, we just have all of my Orson Scott Card books. It is the Ender series. I don't have all of them yet, but as you can see, I have quite a few of them. And then of course, the first copy of the Dune series, which I have not read yet. I haven't even seen the newest show yet. So in the middle, again, to kind of break up the two different genres that I have on this shelf, I have my Zachary Banks Snow Globe that I got from Spirit Halloween Store. Yes, it does in fact make music. I'm not going to play it though because it is so freaking loud. And then behind my Zachary Banks, we have Terry Brooks's The Sword of Shannara trilogy, which was a gift that I got very recently. And since on my fantasy shelf, I didn't really have a whole lot of room left, I decided to put it here. And I just thought that behind the Banks, it actually looked pretty cool with the sword and everything. And then to the right of that, I have all of my kind of spooky books that I enjoy. And as you can see here, I have some very old copies of Goosebumps books. It's the Night of the Living Dummy series, which is my favorite as a kid for some reason. I also have just another sci-fi book here because I couldn't fit it on the left side, but it is a random Star Trek one that I thrifted. And then as you can see, we have a Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which this was actually my mom's, and I have gone through multiple phases where I've just been obsessed with watching this show, so I can't believe she still had it. So that's why I just keep it on my shelf because I think it's so cute. Of course, the beautiful copy of Dracula is sitting at the bottom there, and it does stand out quite a bit, so I actually really like how that looks. And then we have the copy of Wicked that my mom thrifted me. I've had these since forever, as well as these. Like all of these here I've had literally since I was a kid, which I think is so funny, but I can't seem to get rid of them. Like I just want to hold on to them. And then I have all of my Alice Hoffman books here. The three that are within the universe of Practical Magic, which is one of my favorite films and one of my favorite stories. And I did read this one last year and I really liked it, even though it was quite different from the movie adaptation they did with Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman. And then of course we have Vespertine here by Margaret Rogerson, which is again one of my absolute favorite books that I have read in basically the entire time that I've been reading, so since I was a child. Alright, and we have the fourth shelf here, and this is the one that's in the middle. I placed it strategically so that if I ever filmed in front of this, I would have this in the background just because I think it's the prettiest shelf that I've made, and my boyfriend also agrees with me. I think this is his favorite one out of all of them. So again, just starting left to right with it. We have a lot of classics on here, and then, oh, my mom really likes the show that they made for this, but it's about a British veterinarian. I haven't read it yet, but there's quite a couple books that he's come out with that is just his point of view of being a large animal vet. And then this shelf also in general is just, it's a mix of classics, but it's also kind of more serious fiction or just more beloved older books that I have. And then some of these I actually had to read for high school. So I have read Anthem by Ayn Rand, The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger, Animal Dreams by Barbara Kingsolver, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, and The Giver by Lois Lowry. I think we read The Outsiders as well, but I also have read this a couple times. It's probably one of my favorite books, and I never talk about it. Like I don't know why, but I really liked the book, and I really liked the movie adaptation that they made of it as well. So that is probably one of my favorite books I own, and I actually really like the cover. It's very simple. And then I just thrifted the Sherlock Holmes next to it, and I have not read any Sherlock Holmes, which probably seems very shocking, but I do love the movies, and I was just like, I need to read them. I need to know what all the hype is about. And then also, this is probably one of my favorite books that I read in high school, I think. And in the middle, as you can see, I have just a couple cute little decorations. So this is a coin jar that I did thrift, and this is hand painted. Like someone hand painted this, so it's all scratchy, which I really like. I like that I can actually feel the texture of the paint that they put on there. And then this is another candle that I really enjoy, just vanilla and sandalwood. I really like the smell of vanilla. It's like one of my favorite things. So I love this candle here. And then I just thrifted this as well. It is a little mama cat and her baby cat playing with stars and butterflies. And it's one of those cool glass pieces again that's just, I don't know how they do it. I should probably look up a video of how people make things like this because I think they're absolutely beautiful. And we're on to the 5th shelf up, and just as you can see, I have my little otter bookends that I got very recently that I posted on my story because I literally couldn't help it. I ripped that packaging open as soon as it got here. And then right here I have a little chain that I got from an anime convention that I went to when I was like 14. I was 14 or 16. I don't know how there's such a big time discrepancy between when I remembered going, but I got that. It is one of the keys that is used in Fairy Tail, which was my favorite anime at the time. I truly do not recall anything about it anymore, but I just thought it was a cute accessory to put there. I really need to rewatch it again though. And the first 3 mangas that I have, oh, I guess I forgot to just mention that this is going to be my manga shelf. It is not a very large collection, but it will surely grow because manga is slowly taking over my life as it has many. So the first ones here that we have are from Made in Abyss. That's actually my boyfriend's friend's favorite anime he's ever seen. We've watched some of it, but we haven't finished it. I know it gets quite dark though, and usually I am not really in the mood for stuff like that, so I just have the first 3 here though. And then we have Big Hero 6, 1 and 2. I don't think they're making the mangas anymore, but I'm such a huge Big Hero 6 fan that I just had to get them. I flipped through them. They're pretty cute, but it's more just like a keepsake of me loving that franchise so much. And then we have the first 3 of My Hero, which I think is one of the most popular animes I've ever seen. I didn't even finish it, but I watched quite a bit of it, my boyfriend and I, and it is definitely up there in one of my favorite animes. And then I have the novel version of Weathering with You and the first manga edition of it. And I still have not seen that movie, but I really, really want to. So I just have those 2 there. They're absolutely gorgeous. That is one of the main reasons that I got it, honestly, was just how gorgeous it is. Like, look at that. I could stare at it all day, honestly. And then next we have Mob Psycho. I only have the first 4. I forget how many there are out right now. I haven't read them yet, but I've watched all of Mob Psycho. My boyfriend and I watched all of it about a year or so ago. Maybe it was 2 years. Time has been going by so quickly, but it is definitely in my top 5 favorite animes that I've ever seen. And of course I'm very new to watching anime consistently, so of course one of the first ones that I ever finished is going to be in my top, but it is a really cool story, so I am excited to keep collecting these. And also the art style is just so unique. It's so cool. In breaking news, I have to, of course, give another update in the middle of the manga shelf to show Peaches being the cutest thing on planet Earth. She is now sleeping, or at least trying to, while I am talking next to her, and she is getting probably annoyed, but let's get back to the shelf. Alright, and now we have A Man and His Cat. I only have the first 3 manga, but I do also really enjoy this story. It is about this older gentleman who I think was widowed. I'm not super sure. It's just kind of implied, at least in the first one, that he is lonely, kind of by himself, doesn't really have many people in his life that he's very close to. And then he goes to this pet store one day just kind of on a whim, and he sees this cat right here who is an older cat that just has never been adopted because people think he is ugly. So this man, for whatever reason, just thinks he is the cutest thing on earth and decides to adopt him, and it's just their story together. And of course we have fruits baskets. I have 1 through 4. Of course 4 I currently am reading, so it is in my work bag, but they're literally so pretty. I can't get over it. So I am still very slowly collecting them just because they are expensive to collect, but I am excited to one day have this shelf filled with the rest of them. And then right here we have just this cute little music heart. It is something that I got when I was visiting family, and I just thought it was a cute addition next to all of the colorful fruit baskets collector's editions. And then, like I said, I'm a huge Big Hero 6 fan, so I have this little Big Hero 6 Baymax plush, and I mean, look how cute he is. He's protecting the whole bookshelf. Now we are on shelf 6, which is the highest shelf on here except for the very top of it, which now it's getting a little bit harder for me to be able to see it properly because I'm only 5'4". But on the left here we have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which I have not finished yet. I think I'm just going to try picking it up in a couple months and rereading it fully, just because I could not for the life of me get through it. And then we have In Between the Lines, which is one of my favorite young adult books that I have ever read for some reason. Like, I just can't get over how cute it was. And then I'll show you too, I just really enjoy this type of art style, and it's just full page prints like these, and they're just so pretty. So that is part of why I loved this book as well, is just all the little drawings throughout it. And actually the colors of the letters are different, so as we switch between the two different POVs, we get 2 different colors, so I also thought that was a cool addition. And Jodi Picoult actually wrote this with her daughter, which I think is even cooler. And going back up to the shelf, we again, with this shelf, it is more of a theme of on the left side being young adult books, and then on the right side being more, you know, children, middle grade, fantasy books. And I just thought they all really flowed well together like that. So right here though, this is the rest of the YA fantasies that I have. And then another one of my favorites is actually this story, Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. This is the motion picture cover of it. This is one of my favorite novels as well as movies. I just remember reading it as a teenager and finding it very impactful, and then the movie, the way it's filmed is very artistic, and it's just, it makes me cry every time, but it's one of my favorites for sure. Alright, and then we have in the middle, again, as another way to kind of break up the 2 sections, we have The Invention of Hugo Cabret by Brian Selznick, and that is actually one of my top 10 films, and I've seen a lot of movies, so it is one of my absolute favorite movies, and I can't get over it. It is so good. Again, when we're talking about artistically filmed movies, that is one of the best films I've ever seen. Watching it as a kid, it was so mesmerizing. It was one of the first movies I vividly remember watching, so it just has such a special place in my heart. And then I decided to put this little musical box thing here just because the movie really does focus on the fact that Hugo fixes the clocks and spends a lot of time working with machinery, and so did his dad, so there's a huge tie with that. And I got this in France when I was there, and it is just one of my favorite things. I'm one of those people, I love music boxes so much, and that one happens to play La Vie en Rose, which I know is very basic, but I do still love it. And then getting over into the middle grade kids section, we have my copy of Beauty and the Beast, which I've shown a couple times, and then Peter Pan. So those are both from Barnes & Nobles, which I really enjoy. And then my grandparents got me this pin here of the princess from Brave, Merida. She's one of my favorite Disney princesses. And then of course we have the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. And then one of my favorite kids books, and I never finished the series, but it was The Tale of Emily Winsnap. Of course, like most children, I was obsessed with mermaids, and so I highly recommend that book for any kids that you know that also love mermaids. And then we have Mockingbird and The City of Ember, and then Howl's Moving Castle, which is my favorite Ghibli movie. I watch it like once a month at least. And then this is kind of cool. The one next to it is A Little Book of Dragons, but this I actually got as, I don't know, it might have been one of those like Scholastic bundles or cereal box things, but it's what the movie adaptation is based off of, and it's Goblin's Attack with the Seeing Stone, and it's just like this cute little book, and I love it, and I've had it since I was a kid, and it's probably one of my other favorite ones that I have on my shelf. Of course, basically all of these are my favorites. All right, and I hope you appreciate the extraness of this. I'm currently standing on a chair to be able to show you this, but this is the very top of the shelf. So right here I have my Disney Sven stuffy that I got when my boyfriend and I went to Disneyland for our first year anniversary. And then we have a copy of Olivia Owl here, which is one of my favorite children's books, as I've already mentioned. And then we have a snow globe here of Winnie the Pooh. My friend got me this when I was 16, I believe, and it is just one of the cutest things I own. And then right here we have some sheet music of 2 songs that I played quite a bit growing up. They're both clarinet pieces that I have, and I just wanted to display them since music is such a huge part of my life. All right, and sorry for the weird lighting, but I am going to show you my second shelf now. This is the first one that I got in this apartment, and just to start off with the general decor around it, to the left we have a little sketch of a snow leopard. Again, you'll see that I really like snow leopards, and my mom thrifted that one actually. And then you can see my AC right there. Yes, I have it on full display. Really adds to it. But in the middle, I have a moth that I made that I posted quite a while ago. And then this painting here I also used as kind of a backdrop piece, but I did paint that as well after watching a Jenna Marbles YouTube video. And then this first shelf here is just some fake carnations that I enjoyed. They're one of my favorite flowers. And then we have this little, oh, he's so cute. We have this little tortoise here. Again, you can tell that I very much enjoy tortoises. They're one of my favorite animals. My dad got me this when he was in Ecuador for a couple months. And then we have a candle here from Target. And we have Papa Gatto, which is one of my favorite kids' books as well. It's an Italian fairy tale, and it is about this dad cat who, it's kind of like a Cinderella story, but basically he has a bunch of kittens, he's widowed, and takes in this young girl who doesn't live in a great situation and has her be the nanny for them, and she lives a much better life there at his house with him and the kittens. And in the middle here we have a Zen garden, which is my boyfriend's that he got for Christmas from my mom this past year. And then right behind that is my cat Cammie's ash box. I put a photo there of her basking in the sun. It's a pretty old photo, but I think it really captures her energy as a cat. And unfortunately, this past December, we did have to put her down. She was quite old, so it was a humane euthanasia that we did for her. She was my childhood cat, though. I'd had her since she was 3, and she lived to about 18, so that's pretty impressive for a cat, but I just decided to keep her in a kind of central point just because she means so much to me. And then to the right of that, we have my very beautiful, still in packaging, Shadow and Bone edition. I am one of those people, I love Shadow and Bone so much, and I just could not resist getting that. That is one of the first double copies of a book I've ever gotten, and probably one of the last. But it has this white and gold outer, and then on the inside it is black and gold, so kind of, you know, the light and the dark. And then to the right of that we have a little cat mug that I've had for a really long time, and then a candle lighter and a bunch, and by a bunch I mean a bunch of bookmarks. And then this is also just like a little Starry Night book cover that I have. If you go a little bit more to the right, you will see this floating shelf here that my boyfriend put up for me, and then I just put these in there yesterday. We got some fall decor and I'm very excited to decorate for fall. And then I have my ukulele I got when I was staying in Germany for a month. And then to the left we have my kalimba that my boyfriend got made for me as an anniversary gift a couple years ago. And if you've never heard one of these, oh, and if you've never heard one of these before, they're quite beautiful. And then right below those, we have my 2 guitars, as well as a painting I've been working on for like 2 years that I just can't seem to finish, but eventually I do think I will find the motivation, at least hopefully. So my acoustic was a gift from my grandfather, and then the right one I actually bought myself about a year or so ago, and it is one of the biggest purchases I've made, but also in my favorites. Alright, and on this first shelf we have my boyfriend's race cars that he's collected, and then to the right of that we have some of his racing hats he's collected. He is a huge racing fan, and so I just decided that he should also have his own shelf, especially since this shelf is in the living room. So this middle shelf here is all of my books that I have so far for the Shadowhunter series by Cassandra Clare. And as you can see, I did recently get the codex in the middle. And then to the right of that, I have all of my Shadow and Bone series. So I even have the book that is about all of the tales of that world. And then I actually do have the, right in the middle here, the Book of Saints that she gets. And it is a replica copy of it, which is very cool. And then again, that is what the Shadowhunters Codex is supposed to be. It's kind of a replica copy from that universe. They're both very cool. I mean, just look how beautiful that full page art is there. And then I also can't get over how beautiful this is. I didn't even know this is what the inside looked like. It is so pretty, oh my gosh. And then it's been a couple months since I've super delved back into the world of Shadow and Bone. So I said the Book of Saints, but it's actually the Lives of Saints. And again, this is the book that the monk gave Alina. And this is also another book that has full page prints like this. And so it's to show you all of the different saints of that universe and their stories. And then moving on to the bottom shelf of this one. So I have all of my random YA fantasy books here. Some of them are parts of series, some of them duologies, but for the most part, they're pretty scattered. So for example, I only have the first 2 Maze Runner books as well as the first Legend book. I don't have the other couple in that series. I think there's about 3 books that Marie Lu came out with. And then East and West is a duology of a Beauty and the Beast kind of retelling. I only have 1 copy of Beautiful Creatures. I never finished it, so I don't know if I'll do that. And then I have not read Onyx and Ivory yet, but it just seemed like an interesting story. And then we have Divergent. I did read that, but I haven't read the rest of them, so I really need to get on top of that. And then I got all of the Vampire Diaries, and I only made it partway through one of them, so maybe I'll finish it. I'm not super sure. Maybe it'll become a gift for someone else in the future. And then Beastly is another Beauty and the Beast retelling. I have not watched it though, so I know that they made a movie adaptation of it, but I just really enjoyed the book, and I don't know if I really want to see the movie. Anyways, and then we have Green Rider, which I read the first one. I didn't read the second one, but they're one of those, like, I just found it at a Goodwill, and it was so good, and it was so cool to me. I think it's set during medieval times, but then there's also magic. So I really enjoyed that, and I really hope to pick it up again in the future. And then Shiver is one of my favorite young adult series that I've ever read. I'm one of those people that was super into wolves as a kid, and yes, it is about wolves. So it is a romance YA fiction about a boy who turns into a wolf and a girl who finds out, and of course their love story ensues after that. And then of course we have my Enchantment of Ravens and Sorcery of Thorns. Again, Sorcery of Thorns is one of my absolute favorite books. I've mentioned it in my last video or 2 videos ago, so definitely go check that out. She's actually coming out with a more in-depth novella of that world, which I never thought would happen, so make sure to check that out in January as well. I think it's called Mystery of Thorn Manor. I already have it pre-ordered, so that I'm very excited for. And then I got For the Wolf by Hannah Witten a couple months ago. I haven't read it yet, but I think I'm going to read it during winter just because I know there's a lot of descriptions of forests, and that just seems like a good time to read about that. And then we have Caraval, just the first book, also very popular on Book Talk, I believe. It was also just a super pretty copy of it that I found at Target, so I got that. And then these are 2 books that I've literally not met another person that has read them. I only read Incarceron. It was one of the coolest books I've ever read as like middle school to high school age. And so I got Safik, which is the second in that, and I'm hoping to read them together, maybe do like a little vlog of it. I don't know. I remember being so enthralled by this story, and I can't even remember all of what happened, so I'm excited to get back into that. Alright, and now we are moving on to the final shelf that I have, which is in my bedroom, and it is to the right of my bedstand. And as you can see on just like this first 2 shelves here, they are very wholesome. So it's a lot of cat stuff. But I just wanted to pop in and say how thankful I am that you have gotten this far in the video. Let me know down in the comments if you also have a lot of similar books that I have, or any recommendations based off the books that I currently have on here. I would always love to know recommendations for the future, even though I have an entire page in my notebook filled with recommendations and new books that I should get, and probably won't for a very long time. But it is always appreciated. So I think I'll just start off with my little corner that I have here. So this is my bedside table, and I have these 2 owl lights that my mom thrifted. They're both from IKEA though, but the fact that she found both of them in really good condition is very cool. And then I have my hand lotion here that I put on every night because my hands get so freaking dry if I don't. And then we have a little baby Totoro here, and he's like a bean plush thing. And then we have a dragon. I am Year of the Dragon, so I thought that would be a cute addition to keep there. And then this is again another bucket of just pens, pencils, things to write notes about, and these are my favorite post-its that I use for books whenever I am notating anything. And then I think this is one of my favorite actual bookmarks that I have. I got it from Barnes & Nobles. And then I have a cat one here, of course. And then this is a TV remote, as you can very well see. And to show you, this is what the owl looks like. It is actually quite bright, and I do read by this at night, just for a little bit, not for a long time. And then the little one also lights up. It's not as bright, but it's just cute. But yeah, it's not nearly as bright as the other one. So I'm very appreciative for my little reading lights that my mom got. Of course, I have a coaster here for whatever drink that I'm drinking. If I'm drinking anything in the room though, it's probably like tea or water. And as you can see in the overview, I have this giant fruits basket poster that I got at Target, and then I got this really cute mirror at IKEA. As you can see, it's messy back here though, but this is the mirror that I got. That's really cute. And then I have right next to that my gallery wall that you guys have already seen, but also my map of the Greciaverse. And starting on the top of the shelf, I have this little polar bear. My grandma used to collect little ceramics like this, and so I kept this one. It's very delicate, but it's so cute and so pretty. And then over here, right next to it, I have all of my crystals and everything that I just set up finally. So they have their own proper little spot. And then I did get an extra shelf for this one, which has been really nice for random storage like this. So I have my 4 notebooks here. These 2 are empty right now. This is going to be my next personal journal. This is the current one that I have, and then this is my lyric journal that I have, which you'll probably really like. It is the Moleskine Charmander one, which is just absolutely adorable. And then right next to it that you can see, I have my 2 Switch cases. This one has all of my games in it, and then this is the Animal Crossing one that I got for my birthday from my brother. And in this first middle shelf, I have what I'm currently reading and my book journal, as well as the highlighter that I use to document each day that I read. So I put a little cat sticker on my book journal very recently that my mom got like a whole Amazon sticker pack, and she just gave me a bunch of them, and I thought this one was perfect. And then right now I am reading the Order of the Phoenix, and you can see I'm not very far, but I am making some good headway. And then I have my cat tarot deck, the Toothless that my boyfriend got me. It's so cute and small. And then this actually lights up as well. So I think it's one of those kind of random Amazon ones, but this one you can see changes colors, but then if you tap it, it goes off, and then it goes back to just a normal yellowish light, and then if you tap it again, it changes back to changing colors. So it's really cute. I got this at our work party that we did at a Dave & Buster's. And just behind the cat was the little lantern that I got from IKEA that I used in my mid-year book review video. And then I am using my owl as better lighting just because our room doesn't have great lighting. But this is my current Harry Potter shelf. I don't have all of the books yet, so I still have to get Half-Blood Prince and Deathly Hallows, but for right now, these are the books that I have. And then, of course, you can see I have my Niffler here that I got for my birthday, the Time Turner that I got for my birthday, and then this really cool random little box thing that my mom thrifted, where it is Hermione, Harry, and then Ron on the side of it. So it's just like a little keepsake box that she got, which is really cute. And then below that is the first Fantastic Beasts screenplay that I thrifted. And then back here I have Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them and Quidditch Through the Ages, which came in this 2-pack that my brother had ever since he was a kid. And then this bottom shelf is not very cute right now, but it is my YouTube notebook, my sketchbook, and then a bunch of random school papers and stuff that I have to organize. So this is purely a random utility shelf. And that is it for my bookshelf tour. I am so warm now because I had to turn my air off because I realized how annoying it was when I was trying to film. I'm sweating now, oh my gosh. I hope the video quality wasn't too shaky. I'm sorry if it is, but it's really hard to like get these weird angles when you're trying to show everything. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe and follow my Instagram for any future updates about videos, art, books, whatever. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and hopefully I will see you soon.